Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Crypto Wolf back again, and we're doing another Market Cipher breakdown video showing you the VWAP divergence, very much like regular bullish or bearish divergence, but in this case, it's going to be on the VWAP between that and the price action. So real quick, quote of the day: when you pay attention to detail, the big picture will take care of itself. By George St. Pierre. Now, I don't think he was the original one who said that, but you know what? I like him. I even got one of his t-shirts. So I'm gonna holler at my boy there. And we over here looking, we on the Luna chart, the 8-minute to be specific. And I've got a couple marked right here. You can see that we got some divergence marked off. And obviously, if you don't know what divergence is, you should go back and watch, like, God knows how many we made on this one already, but 2 main videos for sure, maybe 3, and then a couple of those little divergence face-off ones where we try out some of the other indicators. But got lower lows on the price, and you start getting higher lows on your oscillator or indicator. Let me see here. Maybe I didn't draw that on that. Okay, here we go. We actually drew it on the 12-minute. I'm all over the place. But, so here we are. This was just recently while we were dumping, or when we are, aside from this initial little, like, pullback retracement there, when we really just started coming down. Now, we came down, came back, and then continued to a new low. And at that point, despite the fact that we were not seeing any divergence on the momentum waves. Let's stretch this up here for you. So down here, we had lower lows on the momentum waves, which, equal to the price action, but we had higher lows on the VWAP, which is divergence. It's when the oscillator diverges from the same path or pattern as the price action. So you can see it was coming up, and we were still overall bearish for sure, because money flow was generally coming down, got a little choppy right in there, but overall it was going down. But we did still have this little bit of an upward consolidation. Really, I call it sideways, but technically, it was down, up, down, up. And on the next leg to the downside, same thing. Had it twice in a row. Got lower lows on the price, higher lows on the VWAP. But this time we were, reaching bearish exhaustion. The money flow did take kind of a wicked little, just shot straight back to the upside. So it wasn't, such a nice smooth curvature at all, especially in this area, but kind of irrelevant to what we are talking about. So price came down. VWAP was trending up. And you can see we had a nice little bit above the zero after that. So it definitely did play out. And as you can see, fairly continued to play out right up until right now. Now, one thing to keep in mind for, the immediate short-term current time frame. Again, money flow fairly ugly over here on the 12-minute, but we are, trending back down. We had one little dip into the red, and now we are back again. So, the price is going up. We definitely have divergence on the money flow, not on the VWAP this time. VWAP is actually going up with the price. But we do have this guy here as well as this guy here. Now, these are obviously a little bit closer, but had, our regular bearish divergence on the momentum waves right there, which kind of went into this you know, this first half of our little whale tail right there. And yeah, nothing, you know, no divergence right here aside from this. Honestly, it's more like a double top, but it can still be divergent with a double top. I was looking into it a little bit more, and a lot of the charts that show you divergences do include, you know, double tops. And looks like we are turning to the downside a little bit right now. We'll see what it equals though, because it is Friday night. And Friday nights have been less than exciting for weeks now, like weeks on weeks. So at the very least, I would be expecting, you know, more consolidation, more sideways action. We have been getting, you know, a little bit of a, like, we've gotten like one move at some point throughout the day Saturday, just over the last couple of weeks. And then obviously Sunday afternoon, Sunday evening, when the CME opens back up, you know, last week we just instantly started pumping. Like at the minute it opened back up, green candles to the sky. So we'll see what happens. I am definitely going to be watching Sunday evening to see what we're looking like around that time. And, you know, this works across time frames, across assets. Let's see here. Let's go to something familiar to everybody. And here again, price action coming down. VWAP coming up. And this is basically the same exact divergence we were looking at on the Luna chart. But let's say we went back in time. So let's see, we got uptrend here. You know, a little bit, not a ton. I guess we could even stretch this out to there. But at that point, you know, we're already digging into the downtrend a little bit. But at the very least, you can see, well, maybe you can't because it's super small. So you can see price was coming up. Whoops. VWAP trending down. Now also keep in mind we did have this going on down here, but in the case of the price going up, generally you're looking at the top, like the, whatchamacallit, the highs, the peaks, to look for bearish divergence. So technically, you know, the bottom of this was just following along with the price, but the highs, the tops of these little waves and candles is divergent. Wasn't there a movie called Divergent? I think that's what it was called, based off the book. I don't honestly know if I ever watched it. I'm leaning towards not. Yeah, still about a double top on that guy. But here you go. Once again, VWAP coming up while price was coming down. And I've been paying more and more attention to this VWAP divergence because it is very good with being able to time the reversal. And I say that because where the VWAP crossed zero was that candle right there, you know, early on in the reversal. So if you are seeing a bullish divergence like in this case, and your VWAP comes up, crosses zero to the upside, you know, you at least at the minimum should have a decent little scalp. You know, and what happens beyond that, you know, you're going to have to do a little bit more investigating. Like in this case, we had one more nice leg to this uptrend here. And in a case like that, you know, what might you be looking for? Well, you know, RSI's trending up, momentum waves trending up. You know, money flow definitely choppy though. And keep in mind, this is, you know, off the top of a longer uptrend. You could kind of draw that. It's starts getting sketchy here toward the end, where you get this real low point and then a high point right there. Not to be confused with I want to say crappy high points, but if anybody saw Demolition Ranch's video, I mean, damn, them things held up. I gotta say. I mean, they may be you know, a little cheapo throwaways, but he was having a hard time destroying that thing. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I guess you're not into the pew-pews. But, you know, you could go through, try it out yourself, go back and back test to see, you know, whenever you're getting like a pump or a dump, you know, look toward the end of it, say, okay, we're pumping right here, right? And unlike other things in life, size doesn't really matter when you're, you know, how much of a pump we're talking about here. Yeah, those are two sentences that just almost didn't go well together. But price is going up. And you're kind of getting, you know, it's a little bit more sketchy on this one, but you know, if you're watching like the oscillations, you have that bottom and that bottom. Not to mention you're just overall trending down. But you know, you could see high there, high there, high there as it kept on going down. You know, so you definitely have some pretty decent divergence on that guy right there. And even, you know, right before that, move this up. Oh, no, that one was going down. You could see just a general trend up right there. Now, hard to read into that one quite a bit, other than, you know, seeing this, seeing a higher. You can almost treat this like an anchor wave and a trigger wave. Would be another way to think about it. See over here, we get this little broadening trumpet going on. Yeah, price coming up. Bit of divergence right there. Already kind of trending down on the lows, but got you some divergence right there. And I'm starting to notice that oftentimes it will show up a little bit more consistently even than in the momentum waves. Because look, you know, momentum waves going up with price going up, non-divergent. But the VWAP was showing it. RSI wasn't showing it. So shout out to the VWAP for, you know, having our back. Let's see, what else can we find here? We got a nice big dip right there. Hey, look at that, 4 yellow X's. There we go. It's been a minute. They've been leaving us hanging lately. But as you can see, price coming down. And we were starting to get bullish divergence there, but we did get kicked down one last leg. But we did come up. Now, you know, if you were looking at this and you tried going in on it right there, you know, at worst, probably would have hit a stop loss or at least a break-even point, because it did go up like a little bit just on that one candle alone, like a 1%er. So I mean, worst case, maybe you got stopped out on that, waited for it to continue. You know, this would have been looking a little rough at the time until we made the turn. But, I know you like big butts, and you cannot lie. You know, we had a similar situation going on with the momentum waves. This one is not quite as frequent, but if you do remember what I was talking about in the last video, and my apologies on the last video, I guess it failed uploading, so I just ended up having to redo it today, which I was tired. It was a shitty video, I admit it. So I'll be honest, it was a shitty one. But, you know, you get these little bumps coming up before like one last little dip. But even still, you know, between the low lows, you still had some bullish divergence there. You know, if you were particularly entrepreneurial about it, you could say that you had it up there too if you know, skip this little guy. But that one's going to be one of those ones that, you know, it's not always going, I didn't mean to say never. It's not always going to work out textbook perfectly. So, you know, sometimes you see, man, we just had it happen this morning. Yeah, I think it was this morning. Had it happen where, you know, we were seeing divergence on a little bit of a lower time frame than this as we were coming down in a dip. And I'm like, yay, okay, you know, I'm going in on it. And it was this exact situation where it was like, oh, went up a little bit, bam, got stopped out, came back down, hit the actual bottom, and then started going up. So keep an eye out. It absolutely does happen. You know, it seems like it's running out of, you know, bearish strength. And then, you know, starts to break a little bit. And then, nope, got one last push. And got a little bit going on here. Pretty much all the way down this downtrend. Not to mention giant split in the RSIs. So I hope you kind of get what I'm shooting for here. And that is, you know, you definitely want to watch out for divergences. It's going to be a very important skill if you are trading. And I mean, and I'm talking like all the way up to, you know, we could come up here on the 4 hour, wherever you want to go. Damn it. You know, you can see it right here as well. Got VWAP divergence going on right here. And especially, you know, on these higher time frames, you're going to be catching larger reversals, you know, larger trends, better swing trades. But the thing you want to watch out for is, you know, just keep in mind when you're trading on the higher time frames, you know, you see this divergence, you say, yay, you kind of go in on it, and you can see this next candle pulled pretty decently far back, almost to where it was just on that previous candle. So keep in mind, especially when you first start the trade, you know, you might see some rockiness. You might see it, you know, come back down to here, still put in a higher low, but still be like, it could even be lower than your entry. Probably, actually, likely. And so, you know, if you're trying to be doing, you know, swing trades on the 4 hour, got to have patience. You know, you got to come in, set your, son of a bitch, set your stop loss, and just trust it. You know, walk away for a little while if you have to. I mean, in this case, it's a 4 hour chart, so I mean, even just to this first peak was over 2 days. But yeah, if you're trading on higher time frames, it's kind of a set it and forget it thing. You know, you do all your work up front and then just let it rip. And you have to trust in your analysis. Which I'm trying to get back into doing some of these longer swing trades, so it's partially why I bring it up. But yeah, put in new highs finally. Beat the previous little trend high. So it's looking decent. I know it's hard to see with all that shit there. Weakening off a little bit at the moment. You know, VWAP starting to come back down. While money flow is pointed up, you know, after a little swoop right there. So, you know, we'll see. Is this going to be the peak on the money flow right there? Tough to say. RSIs are, you know, up pretty high, despite, you know, momentum only being right here. Let's see, we still have a little bit more time above 0 for the VWAP, but as you start getting out to higher time frames, it acts a little bit differently than it does on the smaller time frames, where, you know, just the VWAP pointing down, especially as it gets closer to 0, you know, can actually equate to price going down. Whereas, you know, when you get on these lower time frames, you know, it doesn't really start going down much until you get to that cross. And part of that's going to be, you know, because I got it on Heikin-Ashi candles. So there's a little bit of a delay as you're looking at these. But, you know, as more and more as you use Heikin-Ashi candles, you get used to, you know, what that means. So how the tops of these wicks are actually like trending down already, despite the fact that it looks like things are still going up. That means we probably peaked on this candle, maybe had a little pullback here or something, and then started coming down already at that point. Just not enough to flip not enough to flip that candle red yet. But, you know, likely we topped out like over here. As a matter of fact, yeah, see. Son of a bitch. Look at that, we had a little hammer top. It's a little reversal pattern for sure right there. Had the, what do we call that? Satan's hammer. Doji star. Pretty close to a doji, but eensy weensy tiny reversal right there. Yikes. Ugh. Sometimes I forget how much I don't like using regular candles. I mean, they have their place for sure. And it's not to say, like, again, on the exchange pages, I actually have it on regular candles, but over here, I'd prefer the Heikin-Ashis. But all right, I hope you guys learned something out of this video. If you have any questions, you know, throw it in the comments by all means. Been having more people ask about potentially starting a Discord. If you're still watching at this point, let me know what you think. Is that something that you'd be interested in? I mean, you know, it's another thing that I got to at least spend some time doing, and time is not in abundance. So if it's something that people are into, people want, yeah, we can do it. You know, start throwing up, you know, analysis live as it happens, rather than having to wait until evening when I got time to like make a little video. So it'd be better for, you know, closer up to the moment, and we could talk about other stuff. You know, if some of these other guys put out something that's got some good analysis or something like that, you know, drop that in there, share it with everybody. So let me know what you think. Otherwise, you guys have a fantastic weekend. Do something fun. Get out of the house. Get away from the computer for a little bit. Remember, life is short. Live it to the fullest. Stay free. Stay happy. And stick around here.